Rugby World Cup 2019 team of the pool stage. Now, I've done this a little bit differently. It's the Rugby World Cup, so I'm trying to be as inclusive as possible. So, what I've done is I've picked a team of the pool stages, some of the best players I thought were on offer, having seen all the games. And I've made sure a player from each team is included. And the way I've picked them is based on the way the teams finished in the total points table. So I'm going to pick from Wales first because they finished with 19 points. I'm going to pick from Japan second because they finished with 19 points as well, but Wales had a better points difference. And I'm going to pick from Russia last because they finished with 0 points and had a worse points difference than the US, who also finished on 0. So that's the way it's going to work. So it's not like a pure best kind of 23, but I figure I'll give it a go and see what you guys think at the end. So I can pick from Wales as my first pick, and I am going to pick Gareth Davis at 9. A lot of choices from that Welsh squad, but I have gone with him. I think he's had huge impact on the games that he's played. He's had 2 tries, 7 clean breaks, and 10 defenders beaten. The guy's got some gas. He's got a hell of a step on him. And if you don't watch him, he's going to make you pay, and he has been doing that so far this World Cup. Second pick from Japan, as I said, on 19 points. I've gone with, and it should be probably someone like Matsushima or Himeno, but I've gone with James Moore, one of their locks, and not a sexy pick at all. I gave the Japanese team a fair bit of stick before the Ireland game, saying, look, they've got a good team, but their locks aren't up to scratch. But both, especially Thompson and Moore, really played out of their skins. And you look at his stats, he's one of the top tacklers. He tackles at 93%. In a tournament where the handling has been poor, he's played in all 4 games, and he's only had 2 handling errors. And, I mean, that's not saying he hasn't had the ball. He's had 32 runs and 6 passes. So the guy's been busy. So credit to him, and I'll put him there. He's not the tallest lock, but I'm still putting him there in the squad. Third pick is from England, who had 17 points. And again, it's not a sexy pick. I probably should have gone with Tom Curry, but I've gone with Joe Marler. Nobody wants their team to have the prop pick, but I've gone with Marler. He started every one of the games at loosehead. They've only played 3 games, remember. And he's England's 4th best tackler. He's only missed 1 tackle, and he's only conceded 1 penalty. So for a guy who's probably not supposed to be the first choice loosehead, with Mako Vunipola being not 100% throughout the start of the tournament, I thought he's filled in admirably well, and credit to him, came out of retirement and whatnot. So his is a very good news story. Now, 4th, 5th, and 6th all finished on 16 points. That's New Zealand, Ireland, and Australia. I'm going to pick them in that order based on the points difference, 135, 94, and 68. So New Zealand, 4th pick, I'm going with Anton Leonard-Brown. He can go inside centre. He had 2 try assists in 2 games, 6 clean breaks, 165 run meters, and 18 defenders beaten. 18 defenders beaten. So phenomenal stats from him. He has really been a phenomenal player, and look forward to seeing more of him, although it's a very competitive midfield in that Kiwi squad. From Ireland, I have gone, it was a hard one because that performance against Japan was bad, and look at some of the stats of the Irish players in that game, and it was bad. So I've kind of taken a little bit of a cop-out, and I've put Johnny Sexton in because he didn't play in that game against Japan. And the games that he did play in has been really good. So I think you can't count out his valuable experience as much as we all like Jack Carty. Sexton at 10 just to add something extra. He is the 5th, I think, on points scored at this World Cup so far. His tackling has been fantastic as it is. He's a guy to put his body on the line. So have him running the show from 10. And 6th pick is from Australia, Mariki Karabidi. I've chucked him on the left wing. He's had 2 tries, 19 defenders beaten in 3 games. Tackling percentage, which is usually a big weakness of his, 80%. So, impressive stuff for him if you're going to step it up. World Cup is the time to do it. 7th, South Africa. There was only going to be one man. I mean, there's been a fair few standouts, but Cheslin Colby. I could not go with anybody else ultimately. 2 tries, 6 clean breaks, 15 defenders beaten, all from 2 games. How many run meters? 218 run meters. Phenomenal player. He's not big, but man, that guy's got the heart of a lion, and I think if you haven't seen him in full flight for South Africa, you need to watch some Springbok games when he's selected because he is immense. 8th pick is from France, who had 15 points. Again, there's other guys I could have picked, but I've gone with Camille Chat at hooker. He started 2 of the games. France's line-out has been at 100% for the second 2 games. I think they missed 2 line-out throws in the first game, and he had 49 run meters against Tonga for a hooker. That's not bad in a game that they only won by a couple of points. So he was one of the standout guys. Seems to have taken Girardo's job at the moment, but I guess we'll see because there's been a bit of turmoil in the camp, perhaps with part of that being the decision. Anyway, 9th is Italy, who finished on 12 points. It's got to be Jake Pelledri. That guy is one of the top runners at the Rugby World Cup. For a guy in his position, he's at 161 run meters. Phenomenal. 27 defenders beaten. Ridiculous. I'm putting him at open side. He's had the most tackles for Italy against South Africa, and he's also had 5 clean breaks to go along with all those tackle busts as well. So, yeah, he is a guy for the big game, even if his team didn't end up making it. So, yeah, that's Jake Pelledri at number 7. Scotland are my 10th pick. They finished with 11 points. Argentina also finished with 11, but again, points difference goes Scotland's way. I've picked Johnny Gray. He only played 2 games, and it's 2 games that they lost, unfortunately. But he had 28 out of 28 tackles against Japan. That's a huge number. Guys just don't make 28 out of 28 tackles unless you're Johnny Gray. He is a tackling machine. And yeah, he's Scotland's top tackler in the 2 games that he's played. So when he plays, he does a whole lot of defensive work. So yeah, kudos to him. Not the best ball runner, but man, does he tackle. Next from Argentina, like I said, I've gone with, again, it's not a sexy pick, and I could have gone with, probably should have gone with Kremer, but the 7 jersey is already taken by Pelledri. So I have gone with Figalo. Prior to the World Cup, the Argentinian scrum has just been getting punished all day long. So it was always going to be an area for them if they were going to progress this Rugby World Cup. Now, they didn't end up progressing, but the scrum held up relatively well, and he conceded no penalties at tight head for Argentina, and he made 19 tackles in the games he played, tackled at 95%. So the guy did a props work. His ball handling stats, again, are not anything to write home about, but he propped the scrum and kept it up as well as he could in a scrum which was supposed to be going backwards for some of the time. So Argentinian rugby, traditionally strong scrum, but in recent years it has been an area of a bit of pressure. 12th is Fiji, who finished on 7 points. Now, I've already got 2 wingers in the side, but I've still managed to squeeze in Semi Radradra. I kind of muddled the things here a bit because he played outside centre for 1 game, so that's where I'm going to put him here, and that's the game they lost against Uruguay. Every time else he played left wing, but I mean, he's had the most runs at the Rugby World Cup. He's had 2 tries, 400 run meters, 5 try assists. The guy is a machine. And to be fair, even though he mostly plays on the left wing, he does come in to be like a centre receiver a fair bit for Fiji. That's how he keeps the run numbers up. So, yeah, I had to fit him in there. 13th pick is from Tonga. They finished on 6 points. I've gone with Veainu at fullback. That guy made a difference when he played. I don't think he played the first game, but he played the rest. And, yeah, the guy controlled the game pretty well. 3 tries, 248 run meters, and 25 defenders beaten. 25 defenders beaten. So when he was around, Tonga certainly looked a better team. 14th is Georgia. Them and Samoa both finished on 5. Georgia with the slightly better points difference, -57 to -70 for Samoa. I've gone with Beka Gorgadze, the number 8. So he's at number 8 for this team. 38 tackles, 8 defenders beaten, 149 run meters, good at turnovers. Yeah, Yeah, and he had the one game from the bench from Uruguay, but otherwise he started all the games for Georgia. So doing what you expect the Georgian loose forward to do, and 25 defenders, sorry, not 25, 8 defenders beaten, that was Vaianu. 8 defenders beaten, 149 run meters. That's probably more than what you expect when the Georgians, you're kind of expecting hard hitting, but this guy's got a bit of flair about him as well. For Samoa, I've gone with Chris Vui, and he's my 15th pick. So there's only kind of one spot in the starting lineup, so it was kind of either pick him or pick a bench guy, but I'm pretty happy that it's worked out that I could pick Chris Vui because he's had a good tournament as well. I mean, I could also go with TJ Ioane because that guy's made a whole lot of tackles, but he also had 2 yellow cards, so I'm kind of steering away from that and going for Vui. He's had the second most runs for Samoa. He had 54 tackles, tacked at 87%, no cards, 106 run meters. The guy was representing the country pretty well, so I've put him in there, and that rounds out the starting 15. The rest of the squad, 16th Uruguay on 4 points. Again, I can only fill the bench here. I've decided to go with Herman Kessler, the hooker, partly because of his hairdo. To be fair, it is phenomenal, but he also scored a great try, and he's made a whole heap of tackles, basically. A fair few of those guys from Uruguay impressed. I could have picked any number of them, but I've gone with Kessler. Maybe the hair was the difference. 17th is Namibia on 2 points. They finished the same as Canada. Again, better points difference. I've gone with Damian Stevens, the number 9. He scored a try. He kicked 3 penalties. His defensive numbers you don't want to look at, but if you want someone to bring on final 5-10 minutes, when Gareth Davis is getting a bit tired, if he ever gets tired, this guy can certainly inject some pace into the game and kick a penalty if needs be. 18th is Canada. Again, 2 points. I've picked Lucas Rumble. He's basically a tackling machine. That's pretty much it. Kieran Reid hit him high once and he still kept playing. Didn't get cited, Kieran. But yeah, Rumble, just his tackling stats are really good. In a team when you think DTH van der Merwe, you think Tyler Ardron. Nah, I'm going with Lucas Rumble, somebody a bit different. 19th, the USA. I have gone with Mike Teo, the fullback. I honestly thought they looked better when he played. Now, again, his defensive numbers, you don't want to look. They're not pretty reading. But the guy had 2 tries in an American team which didn't score many tries. 179 run meters, 9 defenders beaten, and 4 clean breaks. So the guy put in some solid shifts. Tackling percentage 53%. Again, not pretty. But yeah, 20th pick lastly is from Russia. I have gone with Kirill Gotosev, the reserve tight head prop. Again, I could have gone with a few different guys, but he made a lot of tackles for a prop. He did get a yellow card at one point, but again, he only conceded 2 penalties. And a team which traditionally the smaller teams get dominated at set piece, he seemed to do a pretty fair effort. So that fills out the 20 teams. That does leave me with a few spots left, so I'll go back to the start and pick a couple of guys from the top teams. So I've also filled in from the top place Wales. I've put Alan Wynne-Jones on the bench. I mean, he probably should have started, to be fair. The guy, again, is a monster, tackling machine. Still got phenomenal stats for a guy who probably should be slowing down, but he doesn't seem to. I've put Keita Inagaki, the loose head from Japan. He's in there. He scored a try. Again, his scrummaging's been really good. He is probably a bit of an unsung hero because he's been doing a lot of good work, but nobody ever really talks about props. So, yeah, I've put him in there. And finished it off with a pick from England. I've gone with Jonathan Joseph. So, yeah, I mean, I think he's only played 2 games, but he was actually my initial thoughts. I was thinking Curry. I was thinking Joseph before I went with old Marla. But, yeah, he's looked really sharp. I don't know if he'll get a game from here on out. But, yeah, man, he looked really, really sharp. So, top stuff from him as well. So, yeah, those are my players. As I said, I've kind of picked it based on giving everyone a go. Everyone gets a trophy rather than just picking it out and out best 23. But yeah, it's nice to see some of these guys that you maybe not have heard of before the World Cup also getting a bit of time on the big stage. But Yeah. You guys let me know your thoughts. Who else might you have included in your 23? I mean, there's been like 30 plus games, so there's definitely a whole lot of other contenders that could have been in with a shout. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.